Hello there, very good evening. This is Primetime News on TV1. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Tharusha Kumar Singha.
A very good evening, I'm Maina Bongso. Here's a look at your headlines for tonight.
Examination of the writ petition that challenged the dual citizenship of Gotabaya Rajapaksa to be continued tomorrow. Gotabaya's response regarding the challenge.
ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදීව ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්නට පුළුවන්කමක් නැති බව දැනගෙන විවිධ කුමන්ත්‍රණකාරී ක්‍රියා සිදු කළා. අපි අනිවාර්යෙන්ම විශාල ජයග්‍රහණයක් ලබනවායි කියන එකත් විශ්වාස බව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට කැමැතියි.
We will not prevent the candidacy of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, says the UNP.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa මතන අපේක්ෂා නැත්නම් අපි වචනයක්වත් ඇඟිල්ලකට උස්සලා නැහැ.
Sajith Premadasa vows that his presidential salary and benefits will be directed towards providing relief to the poor. The train strike continues, commuters' lives at risk. Attention drawn to make railway services an essential service. An expose on corruption within cricket.
News in detail. The writ petition filed challenging the dual citizenship certificate of Gotabaya Rajapaksa was examined at the Court of Appeal today. We are now joined by Newsfirst's Sulfik Farsan for an in-depth update of this.
Thank you, Tausha, and good evening to all our viewers. Well, the writ application seeking a stay order on accepting Gotabaya Rajapaksa's dual citizenship was taken up for consideration at courtroom number 301 at the Court of Appeal this morning. Now, the consideration of the submissions was postponed to tomorrow afternoon. Now, petitioners Gamini Vyangoda and Professor Chandagupta Thenura cited the Controller General of Immigration and Immigration, the Commissioner General of the Department of Registration of Persons, the Internal and Home Affairs Minister, Ministry Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, ex-President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Acting IGP C.D. Wickramaratne, Senior DIG Ravi Senimiratne, CID Director G.S. Abesekura and CID Special Branch OIC Lalit Dissanayake as respondents. Now, today appearing for the petitioners, Attorney at Law Suren Fernando, seeking interim relief, said the purported dual citizenship document is nothing but a blank piece of paper and it was not even issued in a manner it should have been issued. The petitioners claim on the 18th of November 2005, when the presidential election results were announced, then Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was immediately made president and the cabinet, parliament and the ministry secretaries ceased to exist. The petitioners claim, therefore, no one can sign for the secretary as the person did not exist. Further, counsel said only a minister can sign the document, and at the time the sixth respondent was not a minister but simply the president, adding a person with no authority had signed the document. Counsel further said a person who is not a Sri Lankan being elected to office would pose a threat to the sovereignty of the country. Now, Senior Deputy Solicitor General Nerin Pillai, who appeared for the Controller General of Immigration and Immigration, said documents concerning the dual citizenship of presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa were unavailable. Now, President's Counsel Romesh De Silva, appearing for Rajapaksa, argued these documents had been destroyed by the Immigration Department. However, the Senior Deputy Solicitor General countered the argument, saying documents had not been destroyed despite setting up a computerized system at the department in 2007. Now, President's Counsel Gomesh De Silva, appearing for other respondents, said the petition is made on political grounds and should not be even entertained by the judges. Counsel appearing for Rajapaksa filed preliminary objections questioning the jurisdiction to hear the case when a police investigation into the matter is still underway. Now, the petitioners argued the certificate of dual citizenship of Rajapaksa is invalid as it was issued when a cabinet of ministers had not been functioning. However, Attorney General's Department, making submissions to court, had said the President is authorized to handle the affairs of any ministry when a cabinet is not functioning. The case is being heard before a judge bench comprising of Appeal Court President Justice Yasantha Kodagoda and Justices Arjuna Besekura and Mahinda Samyawardana. It's back to you, Tausha.
Thank you, Sulfik, for that comprehensive update. Now, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who is the presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, attended the summit of the Sri Lanka Mahajana Party in Kurunegala today.
මේ රජය දේශපාලන
When this government is doing things to destroy the economic development of our country while taking revenge from politicians, religious leaders and the Mahasangha, we join hands with the people. Although they do conspiracies knowing very well that they can't win this in a democratic manner, I'd like to confidently state that we will have a massive victory.
ලබනවායි කියන එකත් විශ්වාස බව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට කැමැතියි.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa also spoke about the support that was given to the police when in power at the summit held to pledge support to the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
මම පොලිසිය පිළිබඳව
I did a study on the police. Unlike other forces, we have trained the army to improve their discipline. But international or local training cannot be given to the police. They also have an issue when it comes to promotions. We have to consider all of that. Police inspectors have an issue when it comes to promotions. I will create the opportunity for inspectors to get promoted to the position of superintendents.
යෑමට ඇති ඉඩ ප්‍රස්තාව මම සලසා දෙනවායි කියන එකත් මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මතක් කරන්නට ඕනේ.
Addressing the summit, Mahinda Rajapaksa charged that the development of the country has come to a standstill.
If the construction of the highway was completed, I'd have reached in an hour. But since that's not done, we arrived here last night.
මොකද පැය 3ක් වාහනයක නැගලා එන එක දැන් අපි තරුණයිනේ උඟ. ඒක හින්දා අමාරු කාර්යයක්. ඉතින් එක්තරා දුරකට මේ ආණ්ඩුව ඇවිල්ලා
The biggest issues are the construction of the roads and dysfunctional irrigation system. There is no development in this country. How can they focus on development when they were too busy taking political revenge? They filed too many court cases. Solicitor Generals have come forward and said that the cases against Gotabaya filed due to undue influence. We propose that an investigation be done in this regard by the Parliament Committee.
පරීක්ෂණයක් පාර්ලිමේන්තු කොමිටිය මගින් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුර කළ යුතුයයි අපි යෝජනා කරනවා. අද සමහර ජම්පර් රන්දන්න කතා කරපු උදවියට මේ ආණ්ඩුවේම තාපොඩ්ඩෙන් ජම්පර් රන්දනවා. ඉතින් ඒ තත්ත්වය තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් බොහොම පරිස්සමෙන්
I suggest that the UNPS be careful of what they speak of and carry out their activities.
මං කරන්නේ කියන්නේ
This is the response given by the United National Party's Sujiva Senasinghe to a statement made by presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The minister expressed this view outside the Elections Commission today.
ඉතින් අපි ඇත්තටම අපි
Actually, we have not done anything to prevent Gotabaya Rajapaksa from contesting. As lawyers, we have in no way committed to it either. I think it has happened based on ethics in a legal manner. We asked that he come forward. But I must also add that he has a number of disqualifications. We have not even raised a finger to prevent Gotabaya Rajapaksa from contesting at the elections.
ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයන් අපේක්ෂා නැත්නම් අපි වචනයක්වත් ඇහිල්ලකට උස්සලා නැහැ.
Now, while the certificate of dual citizenship held by the presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is being challenged at the judiciary, discussions being held with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party have reached a decisive juncture. These remarks were expressed at a media briefing organised by the SLFP.
The facts pertaining to the agreements the SLFP needs to enter into was brought to their attention yesterday. The secretary of the party and Gotabaya Rajapaksa are two different people. The issue regarding the symbol still remains an issue. We believe it would be resolved over the next few days. We are accountable for this nation and its people. In such a situation, our biggest issue should not be that of choosing a symbol which would fetch us 1 or 2 extra votes. The SLFP has to take up a portion of that responsibility. The SLFP will not become an entity which would help Gotabaya Rajapaksa win and then pull his leg.
President Maithripala Sirisena attended several development programs held in Polonnaruwa today.
The president declared open a newly constructed building at Kumudupura Primary School under the Pibidamu Polonnaruwa program. A total cost of 5.5 million rupees was spent on constructing this building. Meanwhile, a building constructed at the Sri Rahula Primary School at Pahala Ambagasweva in Hinguragoda that was constructed at a total cost of 5.6 million rupees was vested with the students by the president today. Another building that was constructed at a cost of 2.8 million rupees was vested with the students of the Somananda Dhamma School at the Sri Jayabimbarama Viharaya in Madirigiriya by the president earlier today.
20 presidential candidates have placed bonds for the upcoming presidential election.
Leader of the Sri Lanka Labour Party, ASP Liyanage, arrived at the commission today to place bonds in order to contest for the presidential election. I have contested twice and became third in preferential votes in Colombo, but this time I will be the one who receives the most votes in this country. This time I wouldn't be supporting either side. I am running for this election as an independent party and will bring victory to the Sri Lanka Labour Party. Meanwhile, former MPs Ashoka Vadigamangawa and Samaravira Veeravanni arrived at the commission to deposit their bonds as independent candidates.
බොහෝ අපේක්ෂකයන් ප්‍රබල අපේක්ෂකයෙකුට සහාය දක්වනවා. එම අරමුණෙන්ද ඔබතුමා මේ අපේක්ෂකත්වය ගන්න යන්නේ? අපේක්ෂක කියන්නේ අපේ දේශපාලන මතවාදයක්. ඒක ඉදිරියට දැනගන්න.
I have the experience that I have gained by working with 5 presidents in this country. That's why I thought that this time I should represent the minor parts of this island.
Chairman of the National Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, had organised a meeting with representatives of political parties earlier today. The meeting was held at the premises of the National Election Commission. We now cross over to a short commercial break. We will be right back.
Abhiman Waram, empowering the dreams of the next generation. 2 days more.
Abhiman Waram. Main sponsor. Anka Kiri, Edat, Adat, Hetat, Hondamade Pamanai.
Welcome back to the news. A group of UMP MPs led by presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa and politicians affiliated to the party met with President Maithripala Sirisena last evening.
The meeting was held at the President's official residence down Mahagama Sekara Mawatha yesterday. According to our reports, UNP Chairman Kabir Hashim and Party General Secretary Akila Viraj Karyavasam also joined the presidential candidate at the meeting.
Now, what was discussed at this meeting held last evening? Journalists queried Minister Sajith Premadasa on his meeting with the President.
A group from the UNP expressed their views on the present situation of the country. No, we did not discuss that matter. We just discussed the general situation in the country.
2 former ministers and several organizations which were part of the United People's Freedom Alliance pledged their support to presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa today.
Former Minister Atauda Senaviratne and WBA Kanayaka pledged their support to Minister Sajith Premadasa at a press conference held in Colombo this morning. A number of other groups and individuals representing a number of factions, including the National Movement for an Exemplary Political Culture, also pledged their support. In the Pohot tour, we see a lot of individuals who have been there for a while and have corruption allegations levelled against them. On this side also there is the issue of the central bank bond scam. So in order to remove this political culture from the country, as a clean politician of the people, we have chosen to support you. If we support the other side, there will be a catastrophe. We will work as much as we can to contribute to your victory. We want someone who can work for the country. We saw this during the time of President J.R. Jayawardena as we worked with him too. Then there was President Premadasa. We worked with him as well. Our hope is that by the grace of the sacred votary that you can achieve a big victory.
අපේ රටේ ජීවත් වන ජනගහනයෙන් 145කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් රුපියල් 900ක් වැනි දෛනික ආදායමකින් ජීවත් වන ජන කොට්ටාසයක් සිටිනවා.
More than 45% of the people in this country live on less than 900 rupees a day. They live extremely difficult lives on less than 30,000 rupees a month. We must end the era where the rulers of this country live extravagantly off the taxpayers' money. So I promise that as the President of the country, I will pledge all my allowances and benefits to the poorest people in this country so that we can elevate poverty. While I do that, I will act to work within my salary only. By doing that with my allowances, I plan to provide exemplary leadership.
මගේ දීවනාවෙන් ඒක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා සියලුම දෙනාට ආදර්ශමත් නායකත්වයක් ලබා දෙන්නට මම සැදී පැහැදී සිටිනවා.
United National Party presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa responded to questions raised by journalists at a press conference today.
We all know who is behind it. It was proven at Fort. The people know if it is acceptable or unacceptable that such actions were taken at this juncture. This country has the laws and the procedures in place to investigate all anomalies, corruption and scams that take place. We as politicians need not interfere in this. Punishment, court proceedings, these are not things politicians should do. As a government, we will totally commit to the prevention of corruption. We spoke about those issues. We are in discussion to do the needful, but the veterans admitted that there was no issue, which is why they got up and left. Before I gave a solution, the creator of the protest came there and said that it is enough, because the whole wave of protests will be a failure if Sajith Premadasa provides a solution. You have been asking the same question from the day I received nominations, so I will give you the same answer. The presidential election is held not to change the Prime Minister or the Cabinet. No, I gave an answer, not according to your whims. I will not give the answer you want to hear. If I answer a question in a way you do not like, you always ask this question. You are very well aware that there will be a general election after this. That is the process I will follow. This is not an election to elect the Prime Minister, a Cabinet or provincial ministers.
කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයේදී මගේ අපේක්ෂකත්වය අනුමත කරපු පුද්ගලයෙක්. කිසිම කොන්දේසියක් නැහැ.
No conditions. Some may be amazed at this talk of no conditions. But there are none. It is an agreement on policy level.
ප්‍රතිපත්ති මේකකතාවෙන් තියෙනවා.
පසුගිය කාලේ සිදුවන රාජ්‍ය දේපල පිටරටවලට විකිණීම දැන් අපිට හම්බන්තොට වරාය වගේ දේවල්. ඒ මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මොනවද ඔබතුමා ක්‍රියාමාර්ග?
හම්බන්තොට වරාය.
The Hambantota port was not sold. Actually, this is an economic partnership. I am of the stance that state assets should be protected at all times, but all loss-making entities, we must combine with those who have the capital and work with those who can help us resuscitate them. I will put forward these policies in the future.
The presidential candidate of the National People's Movement, former Army Commander Mahesh Senanayake, obtained the blessings of the Mahasaman Devalaya in Ratnapura today.
A group of representatives from the National People's Movement also attended the event. I have a policy. I have a good reputation. The people of this country have faith in me. It is based on that faith that I have come forward on this journey. I am not an agent or a pawn of any party. If that was the case, a small group like us would not have come here. I would have filled this place up with thousands. We have no need to do that. Journalists also questioned the former army commander on the procedure followed by the forces in response to the April 21st terrorist attacks. This incident on the 21st, we had no laws to support us, but as the army commander, I took a decision after discussing with my team to go out. We managed to contain the situation in about 4 days. Not even a balloon has exploded in this country since then. I can proudly say that this has happened because of the decision I took back then. Secondly, you all know with your heart that you desired security to go to school, to go to work, or to go out and pray. Only the former army commander was able to restore that faith. I am the army commander.
The strike action launched by the officials attached to the Department of Railways continued for the 7th day today. Here's what the people in distress had to say.
අදත් යන්න වෙන්නේ නැද්ද? අද අයින්ද ගෑවිලා එයි වගේ මේ සැරේ. දැන් පිළාම යන්නම මේක ඇවින්න. මේ දාපාර හොඳ පාලකෙක් ඉන්නවා රට හදන්න. නැත්තම් මග බැයිලා යනවා මේ රට ජීවිතේට ගෙනියන්න බෑ ඉස්සරහ. කී දිනක අවද්ද වෙයි? එවිලා. මම ගොඩකට බැලන්න බැරි වුණා. ඒගොල්ලෝ හිට දෙන්නේ අපිට පයින්න. අපි දුරලඟමයි හිටියේ ආට වෙලාවක් හිට දෙන්නේ. මොකක්දට යන්නමයි හදන්නේ. ඕක බැලලා හිට දුන්න නම් යන්න තිබ්බනේ මොකටද ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනව කරනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. ඉස්සරහට ගන්න අපෙන්නේ නැහැ ඒගොල්ලොන්ට.
සාධාරණද ලක්ෂ 2.3ක් ඉතින් පඩි ගන්නවා අසරණ මිනිස්සු මේ මහ පාරේ ඉතින් දුක් විඳින ඕක තමයි ඉතින් තත්ත්වය
මේ ස්ට්‍රයික් කියන මා කාලකන්ණි ස්ට්‍රයික් එක. මැජික් මහත්තයාට අර මැජික් මහත්තයාට ඇවිල්ලා මේගොල්ලන්ට වතුර ටිකක් දෙන්න කියන්නේ. අර මැජික් මහත්තයා ඇවිල්ලා අර වතුර බොමු ගාම අරගොල්ලෝ නැගිටලා ගියානේ. මේ වගේ මේ මැජික් මහත්තයාටත් ඇවිල්ලා මේ කට්ටියට වතුර ටිකක් දෙන්න කියන්නේ. එතකොට මේකත් ඉවර වෙයි. ඒක තමයි වෙන්නේ. අතන ආපහු අතන එනවා දැමිලි ගෙඩිය ඒකම ගියා. මේ දැමිලි ගාන දුන්න ගියා.
Who is responsible for the agony that these people go through due to this strike action? Who is responsible for the lives of these commuters? We spoke to the General Manager of Railways, Dilantha Fernando, and what he said was, and I quote, "They should ensure their own security. If the limit has exceeded in a bus, we don't get into it, do we? We are doing all what we can," unquote. With that being said, let's listen to what the State Minister had to say.
They don't adhere to our orders anymore. They agree to certain terms, and when we wanted to implement it, they didn't like it. So I think this is an attempt of the opposition to create issues for the government. So we will not get affected by this. I will remain in my stance because we have agreed to all their demands. No, they should be held responsible. When those who are being paid by taxpayers' monies are causing this issue, they will have to take the responsibility. If someone goes to courts now, these people will be held responsible.
We here at News First had several representatives of railway trade unions in the studio early on in the Sinhala Prime Time News Bulletin at 7. These trade unions represented the group that are for the strike action as well as the group that is against the strike action. This is what transpired.
පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මම කියන්න. දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. දේශපාලන බලයෙන් ඔප්පු කරනවා මම. ඒක ඉස්සෙල්ලා පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. හරි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මම තව කාරණේ. ඒක හරි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මම පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. දැන් මෙතුමා කිව්වා පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. මෙතුමා කිව්වා පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මම කියන එක. දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. කඩේ යමක් නෙමෙයි. අපි ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ජනතාව ගැන කැක්කුමක් නෑ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ජීවත් වෙන්න
දැන් අපි මම හිතනවා මේ රටේ ජනතාව තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ මේ රටේ ජනතාව පිළිබඳව මේ වෘත්තීය සමිතිය වල තියෙන්නේ සැබෑ හැඟීමක්ද නැද්ද ඒ වගේම මේ තියෙන තත්ත්වය යටතේ අපිට පේන විදිහට
Can the army be deployed to resolve this crisis? The army commander made these remarks.
විසින් අපිට කරන්න කියන කර්තව්‍යයන් සමහර දේවල් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අපිට
There are certain duties we are instructed to fulfill by the government. Sri Lanka Army is prepared to do anything for the country, anything to ensure the security of the people and anything to help the people with their day-to-day lives if a request is made.
මේ දිනපතා කාර්යයන් සඳහා කළ හැකි සියලුම දෙයක් කරන්න යුද හමුදාව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
දැන් අපි දැක්ක ජනතාව ප්‍රකාශ කරන නිතරම මේවා හමුදාවට බාර දෙන්න. එතකොට මේ ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඒකයි අපි අහන්නේ.
දැන් හමුදාව අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවාවක්
If the army is requested to do something for an essential service for a short period of time, we will do our best. But we know that there are qualified people in other institutions to do the needful.
දක්ෂ කට්ටිය ඒ ආයතනවල ඉන්න කට්ටිය ඒ කට්ටිය තමයි ඒවා කරගෙන යන්නේ.
Meanwhile, 2 strike actions that were supposed to take place starting today have been suspended. The strikes that have been suspended are those of the Government Medical Officers Union and the Government Administrative Officers.
We would like to remind that this country has a salary commission. We request that it be considered on a technical basis. The good that will come to the country by solving this issue. We have asked for a discussion already. The government's effort to bring forth this strike action has been created due to things like the cabinet subcommittee. We have taken steps to begin this strike action responsibly beginning tomorrow. We are not prepared to believe this commission or committee, but we must give the government a decent amount of time to do this. So we have announced that this strike action will take place between the 7th and the 11th. This is not a 6-day strike, but a strike action. We would like to emphasize to the government that we are ready to temporarily suspend the strike, but this is only temporary. We will give the government 2 weeks. Within those 2 weeks, we will investigate. We will see what kind of response the government will put forth. However, the strike launched by the university non-academic staff continued today as well. Today marks the 23rd day since the strike began, citing salary anomalies. The Association of Trade Unions concerned organized a press briefing this afternoon to express their stance as well.
Now, those were actually the views expressed by officials of the Government Medical Officers Union and the Government Administrative Officers regarding the strike actions that were supposed to take place today but were suspended. We will, of course, keep you up to date with these issues that are taking place in the country, mainly with regard to the strikes that are taking place and strikes that have been prepared. Moving on to more local news, Lord Tariq Ahmed of Wimbledon, British Minister of State for Commonwealth, UN and South Asia, commended the efforts taken by Sri Lanka to strengthen the process of reconciliation amidst the severe challenges posed by the April 21st attacks.
Lord Ahmed, who is on a brief visit to Sri Lanka, met President Sirisena at the President's official residence in Colombo yesterday. He said there is no place for violent terrorism acts by people with extremist mindsets in any religion. President Sirisena thanked the United Kingdom for timely assistance provided to Sri Lanka to strengthen the security situation during the aftermath of the April 21st attacks and to assist Sri Lankan intelligence services and police to probe the incidents of terrorism and foreign connections of the Islamist terrorists. The President also referred to long-standing development assistance by the Commonwealth, and Lord Ahmed said the Commonwealth is the unique network bound together with the ties between people, common values and shared history. He said that Commonwealth could extend support to environmental issues such as climate change.
Fraud and corruption, that is a topic discussed vastly these days. We are about to reveal about a large-scale financial misappropriation that occurred at Sri Lanka Cricket. Sri Lanka Cricket, issuing a press release on the 10th of September in 2018, revealed that funds that the Sri Lanka Cricket was supposed to receive as the broadcast rights in Sri Lanka versus England series, which was played in Sri Lanka, has been misappropriated and has been sent to another account. For a detailed report on this, we now have our Newsfirst's very own Jamal Ratnayaka, who is joining us from the newsroom. Jamal.
Thank you, Tarusha, and good evening to you as well as our viewers. I am going to reveal to you several misallocations and misdealings that had occurred at Sri Lanka Cricket over the past few years, and you know that Sri Lanka Cricket has been in the forefront of corruption for the past few years as well. Now, directing your attention to this particular item, on the 10th of September 2018, Sri Lanka Cricket has released a press release or issued a press release stating that it had managed to neutralize a financial misallocation which was supposed to occur worth $5.5 million which had taken place when receiving the broadcasting rights of the series which occurred between Sri Lanka and England. Now, this money was transferred to a bank account in Hong Kong under the name of Fanya Silu, and it was revealed that the head of finance at Sri Lanka Cricket had advised for this money to be transferred to this particular bank account in Hong Kong. Now, it was also revealed that the bank account named Fanya Silu was opened on the 17th of September 2017 by a Chinese national as a sole proprietorship. However, this particular controversial Chinese national had resigned from his post on the 3rd of September 2018, 7 days prior to Sri Lanka Cricket making this media revelation through this press release. And the Chinese national had resigned from this position, leaving the particular company without an owner. However, the particular bank account in Hong Kong had been operated in such a manner where any money that is transferred to this account would automatically be transferred to yet another bank account in the United States. Now, this press release issued by Sri Lanka Cricket on the 10th of September 2018 also states that this particular misallocation or the financial fraud that was supposed to occur had been directed to the attention of the FCID or the Financial Crimes Investigation Division. However, continuous reporting from our part on Newsfirst part,
now,
it had been lodged at the CID after a lapse of a month.
Jamal, meanwhile, there was a forensic audit carried out to probe into the internal crisis at Sri Lanka Cricket. It was then revealed another financial misallocation of the same manner has occurred unbeknownst to the authorities at SLC during the South Africa-Sri Lanka series. What is the latest we have about that?
Yes, Tarusha, this is not the only misdealing that has occurred in Sri Lanka Cricket over the recent years. Now, like you said, it was also revealed that a sum of $187,084 US dollars had been transferred to a bank account overseas, and these were funds which were received as the broadcasting rights for the series which was held between South Africa and Sri Lanka. Now, as you may recall, a forensic audit took place within Sri Lanka Cricket over the past few months, and that forensic audit managed to reveal information that the second payment which was to be received for the broadcasting rights of the series between South Africa and Sri Lanka had also been transferred to an account operated under a bank named Wells Fargo. Now, this amount which had been transferred to the bank is approximately $436,541 US dollars.
Now, Jamal, isn't Sri Lanka Cricket the body which is responsible behind all of this? Colossal embezzlement seen throughout the years. Large sums of money is just flowing to foreign banks, bank accounts right under the feet of the authorities at Sri Lanka Cricket.
Yes, Tarusha, certainly, although these details have been revealed, like you can say, the cat is out of the bag now. The authorities at Sri Lanka Cricket, officials representing Sri Lanka Cricket have failed to show transparency between these transactions, and they have failed to vindicate themselves from these charges. And it should be noted that there is an independent judiciary in this country. There is a law of the land, and eventually all these perpetrators, all these wrongdoers will be brought to justice, although it has been 1 year and 22 days since this controversial deal has occurred.
Well, with that, we conclude tonight's edition of Primetime News. Of course, we have more information of some of the frauds, right,
Yes.
Tarusha, that has been ongoing at Sri Lanka Cricket. So we will keep you up to date on that. It is the responsibility of the people to be in the know about public money that is being embezzled in this country. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Mahina Bongzo.
I'm Tarusha Kumar Singha. Good night.